Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Real Housewives of Rhode Island Season 1, Episode 7. Now, before we begin, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. All right, so we start the episode off with, we always see the ladies, they're doing different things. Alicia's over there talking to her dolls. We see Ashley, she's on the phone with Jared. Rosie is talking to Rich and telling him about what happened the night before. And Joellen and Kelsey are talking to Gary and they're telling him about what happened the night before. So the ladies come down, and Rosie is nauseous. She's like feeling really bad. She says she was throwing up all night. They're trying to figure out what's wrong with her. She's just not feeling well after what happened last night. They start talking about hearing things in the houses. Ashley walks away because she has to call her mom because her son is feeling sick and both of the parents are out of town. So Alicia checks on Rulla. She calls her. No, she texts her to see if she's still coming, but she doesn't think so. So we see Kelsey and Joellen come down, and they don't speak to Ashley or Rosie, which was again mean girl ish. They ask what the plans are for the day, and then they tell them, we're gonna go on a boat or whatever. They ask Kelsey, Alicia asks Kelsey if she wants to get anything off of her chest. And then she says, I was being nice. Rosie says it felt it felt like it was sorry y'all. Rosie says, well, it felt like a backhanded compliment, and Kelsey says she didn't mean it that way. And Rosie was just like, well, it felt that way. Ashley says, and then you came in the room, and you came in the room and you went in, and Kelsey was just like, well, you asked. And then Ashley was just like, well, you think they are lies, but she clarified. And Kelsey saying, well, she doesn't know who Rosie is because things are always changing. We see Kelsey in her confessional. She thought that Rosie took her mask off, but she still has it on. She has a super glue to her face. Rosie says, if you don't like me, that's okay. You don't want to believe me, and it's cool. Liz says, after what happened last night, you couldn't come in here and act like everything was cool, like everything was good, and I can't do that. Alicia interrupts her and says, and was just like, well, what do you think? That's like her alter ego. And they're like going back and forth because Alicia won't let Liz say what she wanted to say. So Liz says, when I came to you last night, you were upset and you couldn't talk to us. I would have loved to see you turn it on, but you didn't. And then Ashley says, well, if she wasn't afraid of you guys yelling at her, maybe she would feel more comfortable letting you guys in. She says maybe Rosie needs nurture from you guys. And Liz and Joe Ellen says, we don't like nurture. We don't do nurture. Liz says she would rather have tough love, and then Ashley starts to cry. And I was just like, girl, why are you crying? Like, girl, go sit down somewhere. You always crying. Like, you a Pisces, I'm a Pisces. I don't cry as much as you do. And maybe it's because I'm a tail end of the Pisces, but girl, that's a lot. I'm a big softie and I can cry sometimes, but golly, like you cry over everything. Like I can get misty, but I ain't like, it ain't coming down like that. But girl, she cries over everything. Now, what I will say about this conversation is, Liz, that's all fine and dandy that you're tough, boom, 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 pow. That's who you are. Not everybody is like that. And you can't expect everybody to be like that. So the fact that she already told y'all the night before that she's shy and she's awkward. You can't expect her to, after she's just told y'all that and she's still trying to get to know you guys so that she can be more comfortable around you, that she's going to go off like how you would go off when you're feeling some type of way. So the fact that you're trying to like make her feel bad about not opening up that way, I didn't like, because it was just like, Liz, you're different. Like, it's different for you. Like, again, you were just saying the night before that you're crazy sensitive, and you don't like the fact that people see you as a big bad wolf, and yet you're being the big bad wolf right now. And I was just like, girl. And then for Joe Ellen to say she doesn't like nurture, as she's actively begging for her mom's love, I was just like, girl, you want nurture. So why are you over here talking about that you don't like it? Like, girl. So we see Alicia. She is in Joe Ellen and Kelsey's room. So, they go about their separate ways. So we see Alicia. She's in Joe Ellen and Kelsey's room, and she's telling them that Rosie was very sad, and she looked weak. And Kelsey, Joe Ellen was just like, maybe Kelsey, you need to go talk to her one on one, and y'all will be good. So we see Kelsey come to we see Kelsey. She goes to go talk to Joellen, not Joellen, to go talk to Rosie, and they talk about it, and they decide to start fresh, and they're gonna be good. They're gonna start over, be good, or whatever. So Ashley comes in, and they all hug it out. So we see oh, sorry. While they were at breakfast, Alicia had told them that they were going to do like the water slide, that she had a water slide coming for them or whatever. So we see Rosie, Ashley, Liz, and Kelsey. They stay back so they can do the water slide, and then Alicia and Joe Ellen leave for a little girls' day. So we see they get in the car, they go to a someplace, I forgot where they went, but they go and talk or whatever. So we find out that Joe Ellen's mom sent her to a behavior camp 3 times because she thought she was fast. That was like the main reason why she sent her away, because she said she had big boobs and she liked boys. There was nothing wrong with her, she wasn't bad or anything like that. Her mom just didn't like the fact that she thought she was promiscuous. So the first time she sent her away was in 7th grade. She sent her to a drug rehab. They sent her home after a week because they realized that she didn't belong there. The second time, in the second place that she sent her, was for 2.5 months. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as the third place that she was sent, which was the worst. They were kids that were trying to end their lives there. There were male and female predators there. They would restrain the kids, and it was just a bad place. So her mom told her it was a boarding school, and then her mom gave her partial custody of her because her mom's insurance stopped paying for the place, for that place or whatever. And she was there for over a year, and this was in the 9th grade. And the only reason why she came back is because the state wanted her mom to give over full custody, but she wouldn't do that. And then she was just like, suddenly she was all better and she came home. So Joellen says, she tries to block it out because it was a bad time and a hard time for her. She wanted to end it many times, and death was better than living with her mom. So Joellen and Alicia crying. Then Alicia's just like, she didn't know it was bad. They start talking about Alicia's dad, and maybe that's the reason why she doesn't want to get married, because who's going to walk her down the aisle? She started crying. She says that she has a lot of relationship issues because she always wants to leave the man before they leave her, because that's because her dad left or whatever. Joellen says she can relate. She relates to Alicia with the parent issue, and they thank each other for being there, for opening up with each other or whatever, and for breaking the cycle. So Alicia then gets a text from Rulla, and she says she isn't feeling well and she won't be able to make it. And Joellen is just like, she sure does have a lot of health issues. And it's just like, again, this is why that lady does not want to come around y'all, because yeah. So we see Rulla. We see Rulla, and I do apologize. Okay, so we see Rulla. She is at the house. She's at her house, and her family's bringing her tea and food and pictures. She does seem like she's sick. She says in the confessional that she don't what was happening to her. She had to get rushed to the ER, and it was by rescue. They went through everything, but they couldn't pinpoint what it was. And it was just like, girl, I don't know. I can't say that she not sick because again, I'm not there, so I don't know. But it's just like, girl, you've only been to one event with the group, and that was a polo event with your husband. But as far as solo events with just the girls, you have not been, if I'm not mistaken. Because I can't. Has she been to any solo events with when it's just the girls? I don't think so. I can't has she? Child, I don't know. But she didn't come to the she didn't come to she didn't come to the 4th of July party. Um okay, yeah, she didn't come to the 4th of July party. She went to um she went to Liz's party, because again that was with her husband. Um she didn't come to the vineyard that they went to, which was a solo girls trip. She didn't come to this one, which is also solo girls trip. She ain't, if her husband ain't going, she ain't going. Child, okay. So we're back at the house, and we are back at the house. Sorry, y'all. So we're back at the house, and the girls, which is Kelsey, Rosie, um, Liz, and Ashley, they're all, well, aside from Liz, the other ladies are going down the slide. They're having fun. Um, they're, flirting with the butler or whatever to get them to go on the slide. Liz walks away because she says she can't stand around and flirt with 20-year-old butlers. And it's challenging with her being the oldest in the group. So Ashley goes and checks on Liz, and Liz tells her why she came in. And we see Rosie and Kelsey talking to the guys. So Joelle and Alicia are back, and they go look for the ladies, and they find Kelsey, and they say they're all getting ready for the boat trip or whatever. So we're on the ride to the boat trip, and Ashley's on. She's talking to her mom. Her son is feeling a little bit better, but they aren't really sure, and they may have to take him to the hospital or whatever if it gets worse. So they arrive at the pier, and Joe Ellen is looking for a husband for her sister, and we see a flashback of her sister, and Gary. And her sister is just like, Gary, you ruined me because I'm waiting for my own Gary. And Joellen was just like, it's been 30 years, get over it. And I'm just like, that is so awkward. That is so weird. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But yeah, so um they get to the boat, and it's like a nice little setup. Everything's cool. Ashley's dad texts her and tells her that they're taking her son to the hospital, so she has to leave. So she tells the ladies that she has to go. They all hug her, and she leaves. So they get on the boat, and they're toast to being there. Liz loves being on the water. She says, someone says they never had sex on a boat, and Kelsey says, "Oh, my ex told me that she was just like, oh, my ex told me that, Joe Ellen, he and Joe Ellen and another girl had sex on a boat." And in her confessional, Kelsey was saying, her ex had told her about a sexcapade that Joe and her ex-boyfriend and another girl had did on a boat. Joellen was really loud, and everybody heard. So when they came back upstairs, everybody was looking at them like, what? So Joellen in her confessional was just like, that was on land. It wasn't a boat. Kelsey says this was, and while they're in the scene, Kelsey says this was before his brother. And then we see, they show the flashback to where they were at the 4th of July doing the caricature. Child, I can't say the word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. They're doing a painting, and Kelsey was just like, oh yeah, I met her because she used to sleep with my boyfriend's brother, or something like that, or whatever. So Joe says in her confessional, um uh Joe's in the confessional, and what someone asked, so which is a better brother in bed? And she says, well, Kelsey knows the answer to that. And then they watch the sunset. And then I was just like, so Kelsey, you slept with his brother and him. You were with him for 10 years. So when did you sleep with his brother? And then also, you and Joe Ellen shared two of the same men. And the fact that you put her on blast like that in this scene, like, you two are mean girls. Child, I guess. So on a boat, we see Kelsey and Joellen go off to talk about how things are going with her and Rosie, and then Alicia and Rosie are talking about how things are going with her and Kelsey. They both are feeling good where they are in their relationship. So we see them get back at the house, and Joellen is on the terrace or whatever. Liz comes out to check on her, and she's showing her the proof that she got of Brian cheating. And she was just like, Rulla asked me, to get the evidence, and I got it now, and I don't know if I should tell her. And then they show the flashback of to when they were at the polo, and I don't know if she was really asking for evidence, or if she was just like, if you have the proof, then you can show it to me. I don't know how that looked, but either way it goes, I wouldn't have went looking for it even if she asked for it. It's the fact that you want to be proven right, even though this could destroy a relationship and a marriage, that is just like, girl, you should have left that alone. Honestly, that's how I feel. But hey, if the girl really asked for the proof, you got the proof, show it to her. Which again is the reason why we'll get to it. So she shows a video to Liz. Liz is in her confessional saying that um Joe Ellen has been vindicated. We have the proof. So they go inside, and then they tell the ladies, and then the ladies see the video, and it's a video of him hugging the girl, and they were hugging for a little too long, and he had his hand on her butt, and they were also kissing. So that was the proof or whatever. So they discuss what they should do with the video. Joellen says that Alicia should be the one to show her because she's closer to Rulla than the other girls, and none of them want to tell her or whatever. So that's how the episode ends, with them looking at that video and figuring out who's going saying that each of them need to tell Rulla about the video. And like I was saying, so the reason why I felt like she should have left it alone is because in this moment you got the proof, but you got the proof because she asked you to get the proof. Now that you have the proof, you don't want to show it to her. So if she asked you to give her the proof, why don't you want to show it to her? Why don't you want to give her the proof that she asked for? That's what makes me think that she really didn't ask you for the proof. You just wanted to be vindicated. That's what it seems like. And that's why it's just like, you should have left that alone. You should, again, the lady is not leaving her husband. At the end of the day, she ain't leaving her husband. So why are we even doing this? But yeah, that was the episode. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. Get down in the comments. Tell me what you guys thought of this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.